Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the dedication of the Reaser Grand Room. I'm Marcia Ballinger, the president of Lorain County Community College, and I'm so pleased to see such a wonderful turnout for this evening's event. We're here tonight to celebrate the tremendous generosity of our close friends, Dan and Mila Reaser and their family. Danny and Shannon, I'd like to ask everyone to please continue to enjoy your hors d'oeuvres during our short program. As you may know, today actually starts my second full week as the president at LCCC, and I am truly honored and humbled to be serving the college and community in this role. And so in the past 2 weeks, I've dedicated a portion of my time to host personal informational conversations with our students, faculty, staff, members of the community, and getting out to the community. And so as I began this new role, I really wanted to understand firsthand what are some of the needs and how we can work together to achieve Vision 2020, which is our strategic priorities. And I've gained some themes that have begun to emerge for me. First, the people who care so deeply about Lorain County Community College also care very deeply about this community, our community. And I think that's evidenced by the celebration that we're here for. The Reaser family, they are from Lorain County, born and raised. They have deep-seated roots here, and they have vested themselves in our community and made Lorain County a home and a family commitment. To share a little bit with you, Dan and Mila are both from Elyria. Mila is a graduate of Elyria West High School, and Dan graduated from Elyria Catholic, along with their children, Danny and Shannon. And as alums, they continue to give back in both time and resources to Elyria Catholic High School. Similarly, the Reasers have made a commitment to Lorain County Community College, and I like to say they've had a family affair for Lorain County Community College. All four have attended LCCC. In fact, after graduating from Elyria Catholic High School in 1978, Dan, who is the consummate entrepreneur, decided to take a few of his business classes at our college, and then he used them to help with his knowledge as he started his own business back in the late 70s. But at the time, he wasn't able to complete his degree and came back to Lorain County Community College in 2012 to earn his Associate of Technical Studies in Industrial Management, and he too became a proud Lorain County Community College graduate. Thank you, Dan. As an alum, Dan continued to stay connected to the college as an engaged and active member of our foundation's board of directors since 2012, and he has consistently demonstrated his commitment to both the college and the community. Mila also took classes from Lorain County Community College throughout the 80s and 90s. Their son, Danny, graduated in 2014 with his associate's degree in business administration, majoring in entrepreneurship. And Shannon is currently taking classes in entrepreneurship to prepare herself to run her family's business. That's how the Reasers do things. They do it as a family, even when it comes to giving back. And a conversation that I recently had with Dan, he described his family's rationale for making a major philanthropic contribution to the college's foundation. In fact, Dan, I recall you saying, this is our way of giving back to an institution that has meant so much to us and to our community. But Dan, like any successful entrepreneur, wanted to maximize the impact of his family's gift. Those who know the Reasers well know they are quiet leaders in our community, giving of themselves and resources without much fanfare. When finalizing that gift to Lorain County Community College's foundation, Dan had the wisdom to leverage this gift to encourage others, especially Lorain County Community College alumni, to do as his family has done and give back. The naming of this facility in this room for the Reaser family was never about the fanfare. It is about inspiring others. and now and in the future to invest philanthropically in this college and our community. The second theme that I've come across in the past couple weeks is that the people of Lorain County are hardworking, dedicated, determined, and in many cases, entrepreneurial. For those of you who know Dan and Mila, you can attest that they fully embrace these qualities. In fact, it is through the Reaser's entrepreneurial success that makes this gift possible. Dan and Mila started American Hood in 1978. They grew the company from the ground up, expanding multiple times and created great jobs in our community. But when it came time to start a new adventure, the family decided to sell American Hood, and they had two requirements. First, they would use the sale of a company to give back by creating the Dan and Mila Reaser Family Foundation. And secondly, that the jobs would stay in Lorain County. What a commitment and what family values. Thank you. And now I would like to share with all of you a brief video, thanks to the creativity of Ron Jans, that brings the Reaser family story to life much better than I can.
Family and home. Are there two more important things in life? If you can have both, and if you can make them your foundation for who you are and for what you stand for, would you do it? The Reaser family of Elyria has.
As a mom and as a dad, you raise your children the way that you want them to be.
I think it's important to have a relationship with your family because at the end of the day, they're really the only people that will always have your back through every single situation you go through.
That phrase, have your back. Responsibility is born in those three words. Commitment is found there too. Sacrifice. All the good things you find in family and in home come from it too. So it's no surprise, given the Reaser family's commitment to home, commitment to community, commitment to Lorain County Community College, that we find ourselves here today with their gift.
The values that we learned along the way, LCC's values, are right in line with everything we lived our life through, and we have very, very strong, passionate feelings about Lorain County Community College.
And the degrees prove it. Dan started his career here. Shannon is a student on campus now. And Danny? Well, his commitment is maybe most notable. To find it, we get lost in a memory.
Make it 6 touchdown passes on the night for Danny Reaser.
In 2010, Danny Reaser was the most decorated high school quarterback in the history of Lorain County. College football coaches across the country knew his name and his game. National Signing Day arrived, and Danny could have gone to Indiana in the Big Ten or West Virginia in the Big East. He stayed home, though, real home, Lorain County Community College.
I was in a position, fortunately, that I could have gone anywhere to school, any school in the country, as long as I could get in academically. But I chose to come here because it is a shining star in the community. I've lived and breathed this college. Like I said, I went here, I graduated from here. I played golf here. I'm even getting married. My reception will be here this December.
The desire of Lorain County Community College has always been to identify the needs of its community and then meet them. This place is here to reflect the people, hard-working people. In a county built on that commitment, those who strive for a better day usually find a way. After all, a chance is all anyone has ever needed here. The Reaser family, with their gift and the birth of the Reaser Family Foundation, will provide that chance for many.
That's probably the most important thing to me in life, is being able to help and give where things are needed, or being able to show my support in the biggest way possible of something I believe in. So that's probably the most exciting part of this foundation for me.
My mother and father have always instilled in us that, you always do for the underdog, always try to help those that are need help, even if they don't ask for the help.
It's always been in our nature to give where money is needed. And I think Danny and Shannon have watched us do that, and that is why they encouraged us to create a foundation where we can continue as a family to benefit those areas.
the nice thing about the foundation we've created is that the four of us get to pick and choose from day one different ideals and ideas to be able to promote and do.
And the best example of that may be Shannon's passion to help preteens, long before college is even in their sights, with an old problem that has taken on a new approach: bullying.
Bullying isn't so much as the physical harm as it is the emotional and mental harm, and the social media where it comes from is the big point of where bullying starts. And people nowadays hide behind social media and behind text messaging, and it causes the person to have a mentally and emotionally long-term problems from that.
Maybe these two images sum it up best for the Reaser family, though. Here you see a young Danny and a young Shannon at the desk of their father, at the business he built himself, in the hometown that he and his family have never left, even when they have left.
That's why we chose the outdoor option. Yeah. I'm glad you're with me. Proud of you.
Family and home always tug, even in a tree or at the foot of an iceberg. Its pull is as strong as the Reaser bond is to the outdoors. Here they clear their heads. And what do they see? Well, they see you and the importance of our community college.
One of the things that I had in mind, and that we've always done as a family, is we always try to motivate other people to step up and do the same. And so I'm hoping that, by us taking these steps and supporting LCC in this way, that there'll be some other people, hopefully they'll step up and do the same and realize just how important this place is to this county and to the economics of this area and to the students that have a chance to go through here.
Like the Reaser family, Lorain County Community College, proud.
I'd like to thank Ron for that tremendous video tribute, and again to thank you for sharing your stories that we could bring them to life for everyone. And what a great story it is to tell. Not only have Dan and Mila contributed in countless ways through their family foundation, it's very evident that you have passed this love of community and strong philanthropic values along to your children. It's admirable that the Reasers have placed a priority on giving back and solidifying this value through the next generation. As the community's college, as your community's college, we rely heavily on both the support of those living within Lorain County philanthropically, as well as those who volunteer their time and advocacy. And I'd like to recognize a few of our distinguished advocates and elected officials who've joined with us here this evening to celebrate this occasion. First, the Honorable Gail Manning, Ohio State Senate. Matt Lundy, Lorain County Commissioner. Lori Kokoski, Lorain County Commissioner. The Honorable Holly Brenda, Mayor, City of Elyria. The Honorable John Hunter, Mayor of Sheffield Village, and a member of the Lorain County Community College Foundation Board of Directors. Judy Nedwick, our Lorain County Recorder. The college's District Board of Trustees is one entity in particular who dedicates a tremendous amount of time to guide our institution. I'd like to recognize Chairman Terry Goode. Thank you all for your service to Lorain County Community College and for sharing this celebration with us this evening. In addition to the college's board, we're also very fortunate to have another group of dedicated individuals with us who volunteer their time through our Lorain County Community College Foundation, which is comprised of a 55-member board of directors who serve as advocates for our college. I'd like to recognize those directors who are here with us, and if you could please hold your applause until the end. Our chairman, Phil Baptiste, David Herzer, John Ruska, again, the Honorable John Hunter, Jane Norton, and Bruce Stevens. Thank you all so much for the support. to our college. We are very fortunate to have such a high caliber group of individuals working on behalf of the college and the foundation board. Phil Baptiste has served as our foundation's board of directors chairman and has been on the board since 2004 and is chairman for the past year. A CPA by background, he serves as the Chief Operating Officer at Cohen & Company, which is a nationally ranked CPA firm headquartered in Cleveland. He is a dedicated leader, and I would like to invite Phil to share a few words about how the foundation supports Lorain County Community College.
Thank you, Dr. Ballinger, and congratulations, new Ms. President. As chairman of the foundation board, I am privileged to help guide an organization that has nearly $50 million in assets. It's not always been that way. 30 years ago, the foundation in its infancy had $2.3 million of assets. It has been through a lot of efforts and different factors that have allowed for this tremendous growth. Certainly the strong leadership and the strong financial guidance of fiscal management by the leadership of the college and the foundation have helped the foundation achieve this tremendous growth. But more importantly, it's been the generosity of individuals and organizations in the community that have got us to this point. Families like the Reasers, through their generosity, has helped the college provide a profound impact. In fact, in this past year, the foundation provided $2.2 million of support to the college. Now, to put that in perspective, the foundation 30 years ago could have provided $2.2 million of support to the college for 1 year. Today, the foundation can provide $2.2 million a year forever. So it's come a real long way. Since 2005, there have been two significant fundraising campaigns that have successfully generated $24 million in contributions. The first being the Transformation Campaign, which was conceived with great timing right before the Great Recession, with, I believe, the original goal, I'm looking at Tracy, $15 million or so is what we were hoping to raise. So along comes the recession, and through all that crazy tough times, but through the hard work of the foundation staff and a lot of people and the tremendous generosity of the community, that campaign was concluded successfully, raising $21 million. It was very impressive. Recently, the Leadership and Legacy campaign was formed this past November in an effort to fund the Roy and Bobby Church Leadership Institute to recognize Dr. Church's amazing 30 years of leadership of this institution. It was this campaign that was a spark for the Reaser family who to look at doing a legacy gift. In fact, that gift is what allowed this campaign to successfully reach its goal of $3 million. On behalf of the foundation, I want to sincerely thank Dan, Mila, Danny, and Shannon for your tremendous gift. It will be a great example for others in the community going forward. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Terry Goode, who is the chairman of our college's District Board of Trustees. Terry is, like Dan, also a very successful businessman who now has nothing to do but spend every waking hour worrying about the college and all the issues that are going on here. His hard work and the work of those leading the college is instrumental in making sure that this college provides the greatest possible opportunity for all its students and the community. So with that, I'd like to introduce Terry.
Thank you, Phil, and hello, everyone. Thanks for being here today. As Phil mentioned, the reason we're here today, it all started with the Legacy of Leadership campaign. I was honored to have the opportunity to work closely on that campaign. Many of us probably, in fact, most of you, probably got a few letters from me and a few phone calls asking for your support. And I hope that you understand that I agreed to that role because I sincerely believe in the meaning behind it. As chairman of the district board, I have had the pleasure of working very closely with Dr. Church for many years. So when I learned about his retirement, I knew we had to do something big to follow in his footsteps, but also had a very amount of short time. Our time was very short. So as the plans for the Leadership Institute began to evolve, it became apparent that we had a short-term capital campaign, and it was a critical step in making this a reality. The idea was really, if you build it, they will come, or so to speak. But honestly, we weren't sure if we could raise $3 million in Lorain County in 6 months. And as most of you have heard, we were able to complete that with a whole lot of help and a whole lot of support from this community. And the Reaser family gift was the final gift that put us over the top. So thank you, Dan, Mila, Shannon, Danny, thank you very much. Tonight, I have the honor of leading the formal dedication for this very special space in recognition of the Reaser family legacy level gift at the Lorain County Community College. But before we get into that, I'd like to invite the man who inspired all of this to say a few words. Please join me in welcoming Lorain County Community College's first ever President Emeritus and continuing director on the Lorain County Community Foundation, Roy Church.
I'm absolutely delighted to be with you this evening. As you know, my last official day as president of Lorain County Community College was June the 30th, so it's only been 11 days ago. But those of you that are deeply involved in the business world and follow the Crane's Cleveland business may have noticed a little article on the second day of my retirement. And the title on the article was "Gone Fishing." And it was absolutely, literally true. My son, for Father's Day, gave me a day on a charter walleye fishing tour. So July 2nd, I was out on Lake Erie trying to catch, and you know what, Dan? I might be ready for a version of the outdoor adventure. That may not be the option you want to choose, but it was a great day. We didn't get our limit, but boy, we had some great walleye. It was wonderful. I am so humbled and honored to be invited back by my wonderful successor, Dr. Marcia Ballinger, to participate in tonight's celebration. Terry and Phil both touched on the Legacy of Leadership campaign that will culminate with the launch of the Leadership Institute, something that's very near and dear to Bobby and me. You know, many of you participated in the campaign and attended the Legacy of Leadership Gala last April. And for that, I am truly grateful. Never in a million years would I have expected that level of support. And to have the campaign peak with such a personal, family-driven donation from the Reasers is simply amazing. You know, I met Dan many years ago, but really got to know him when he approached the college about partnering with our media broadcast communications division on a new project that he and his family were working on. You see, at one of the foundation briefing events, Dan heard about, probably ad nauseum, heard about our portfolio of entrepreneurial efforts going on in Lorain County to try to grow jobs and grow companies right here in the community so that all of us who love the quality of life of Lorain County could not only live in our community, but could earn a good living in the process. Well, the ideas around that entrepreneurial support resonated with Dan. As he learned more about the resources like GLIDE, the Great Lakes Innovation for Development Enterprise, our business incubator and the Innovation Fund, along with our academic programs that enable people to earn not only an associate degree, but baccalaureate degrees in entrepreneurship, certainly of which, as you have heard, both of his children have taken advantage. These were ideas that resonated with Dan and reinforced his deeply held values. The project that he wanted to develop turned out to be a reality TV show called The Outdoor Option, which features the Reaser family pursuing something they love doing together, as you saw in Ron Jantz's beautiful video. Hunting and fishing in locations all around the country. What started as a short conversation resulted in The Outdoor Option being edited right here at Lorain County Community College by our very own video editing students, some of whom were even hired as interns by the Reasers. The show is just beginning to film its 5th season, and our students have gained just wonderful, valuable experience, real-world experience through that process. So as they've developed their new business enterprise, they've done it in a way that reinforces the educational opportunities and values that they have believed were the essence of what Lorain County Community College has to offer. In fact, I was delighted that Lorain County Community College was able to host the premier event of Outdoor Option in January of 2014, just next door in the Hoke Theater. And as we've gotten to know each other certainly more deeply, Dan and I have had several talks over the years about his family and their values. We have chatted about his business as well, and I've always admired his tenacity and his entrepreneurial spirit. Perhaps this is why the Legacy of Leadership campaign resonated with his family. Leaders in their own mark, the Reasers have been helping to build this community up for generations. And as the Leadership Institute gets underway over the next year, Dan will serve on our advisory board and will help to shape the ways in which we can impact Lorain County by attracting national thought leaders to this community. This community has been a vanguard of leadership in many, many ways, particularly in higher education. And one of the things we had hoped to do in this transition was to build that legacy of leadership to have this profound impact for many, many years to come. So as I turn the program over to Chairman Terry Goode for the formal dedication, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Dan and to Mila, to Shannon, and to Danny. Your support and commitment over the years is certainly inspiring. You will help many others in our community see how to live out the values you have demonstrated here this evening. So thank you for your generosity and all that you continue to do for this college and for the community. Chairman Goode, the podium is yours.
On behalf of the Lorain County Community College Board of District Trustees, I hereby dedicate the Reaser Grand Room on this day, Monday, July 11th, 2016. On the back of your program, everyone will see exactly what the plaque that Dr. Church and Dr. Ballinger are about to reveal, and it's on the back of the programs, and it will be installed later in August. And the Reaser family will also receive a tabletop replica of this plaque to commemorate this very special day in a few weeks. Dan, Mila, Danny, and Shannon, this permanent recognition of your family's generosity will serve as a testament to others who cross this campus in years to come. Thank you for your generosity. Dan, Mila, Danny, and Shannon, please join us on the stage here. Dan, the podium is yours now.
Well, you know, they would have to have me talk after Roy and after Terry and after Phil and after Marcia. I mean, I'm nowhere near the speaker that they are, but for the sake of not trying to be redundant, I put some thoughts down that, you know, sometimes people, set examples, by words, and sometimes people let their actions speak. Roy and I got to know each other pretty well, and back when I was, in school here and trying to finish a degree and do this business gig, and back then he was inspirational. Even today he's that much more inspirational, and I'm really glad you got to be a part of this. I was worried that you were going to be gone somewhere fishing, and so I'm really glad you were here. So that fits, Roy to the T. Words and actions. The way this college has grown during his tenure is only fittingly to, having someone like him be able to leave behind and have a hand in all the people that are going to be here to continue on his legacy. I mean, Dr. Marcia Ballinger is a perfect pick for the college. It was one of my picks in the very beginning, but that was only one person, and Terry and I got a chance to talk about it for like 30 seconds, maybe even less than. But what a perfect pick, and I'm grateful that you've agreed to step up and take this to the next level. So, I think it's great. I really want to. And Ron, where are you at? Oh, pardon my English. Ron Jans? He had to leave. Oh, what a wonderful video he put together. I mean, he did a great job at your gala, Roy. I mean, that was a very moving video. He's one of the best. He's really good at what he does. He's got a real gem there. Brian Soe, wherever you are, if you're still here, Brian. Brian, put a lot of the words together and put a lot of the signage together, and just was extraordinary in the efforts he put in. And people that are going to be here to help, along with the district board of, trustees like Terry and so forth, Tracy Green and Gary and Janet and Brenda. It's, amazing people that put work in like this, and anybody that knows us, we don't do what we do to get a pat on the back. This gathering makes us feel uncomfortable. And anybody that knows us knows that. But when this naming came up for the Reaser Grand Room, it was one of those things where, I told Janet, where's Janet at? On the back, of course, only fittingly, right? Make me come up front and you stay in the back. And I told her I really was uncomfortable about having people come here to pat us on the back, because that's not what this is all about. Of course, her answer to me was, and I had to write it down here, it's too bad, you'll have to just get over it. We need, we need you and your family to be an example for everyone else who puts LCC first like you guys do, and hopefully we'll be able to motivate others to get more involved. And I think you said it to me like 3 times, so over the course of the last month. So, my dad, I don't like to correct any doctors at all about anything, but my dad joined me in the business very early on without his mentoring and without his desire and hard work. And he gets mad at me when I say this kind of stuff. But people don't know this very often, but he comes from a one-room home in West Virginia, had no running water, had no electric, had no indoor plumbing, right? To the success he is today and what he's accomplished, as a dad. So. And Chris Kish, thank God for Chris Kish. When they started asking me for names, I said, no, I can't do that. I can't invite people to come here. And so I talked to her, and she called me, and she said, I'll take care of it all, and she did. Thank you very much for getting that done. Real quickly, I promise this is only going to be like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, but my wife and I have always been Mila, which, by the way, will be married 30 years in a couple weeks, which... We've always been ones to privately step up and help those in need, very privately. We just don't go out and talk about, what we do. Sometimes people ask for help, sometimes people just look like they need help. And our way of doing things is to just do what we need to do in order to make people have a little bit of joy in their life. whether it was paying tuitions for families who wanted to go to Leary Catholic or St. Jude's, or paying tuitions for kids that wanted to go to LCC that fell in that little gap between the grades or scholarships or whatever, or if it was raising money for the school or raising money for Leary Catholic or the community, we've always done it a little bit below the radar because it's easier to do it that way and it's harder to do this. But things like when Danny and Shannon's idea a few years back to pledge money to Mayor Brenda to bring back the fireworks in the city of Elyria because they missed it and they thought a lot of their friends missed it. Suggestions that they had, and things like, for an example, Phil didn't mention that, when there was a need to relocate Little League North from St. Jude's when they were talking about expanding and going to be displaced, we created a group called Friends of Little League North that Phil put together. I was the chairman. Phil was, I think you were the treasurer of the organization. You were an officer of it, and we raised all the money and we raised all the resources to build this facility for all these kids that affected over 400 families in the city of Elyria on the north side. Otherwise, they were going to have no place to participate in the Little League, as we know it on the north side would have had to have been spread out amongst all the other Little League organizations. But this wasn't something anybody came to me and asked me to do, but it was one of those things that had to be done. And Phil and I have had a way of doing that for a lot of years. Him and I both played at Little League North when we were kids, and it's the kind of things that I like to do that continue to make and affect kids and families. Which brings me to these two. Tonight is not about me. It's not about Mila. It's not about success in business. It's more about these two. It's the offspring of what you hope to have as a parent. A lot of people here tonight probably do not know much about Danny and Shannon or how they positively affect people's everyday lives. But LeBron James, and I get to steal and plagiarize from LeBron James, said it well when he said, in Cleveland, nothing is given, everything is earned. Nothing is given, everything is earned. There's other parts of the country where, they have a lot of business things going on, a lot of growth and everything else, but here we always have to fight for everything that we get here in Lorain County. And this describes Danny and Shannon, to a T, and they've earned everything that they've ever accomplished. Whether it was work or play, even at trade shows, they're positive role models for everyone, and they give their time on a daily basis. Danny, for a lot of people, they know him about his football accomplishments at Leary Catholic or the TV show. What they don't see is a very conscientious, hardworking, stand-up guy who never had anything just handed to him. He always put in the work to do the things the right way. His results in business and personal life shows every day. Humility fits him to a T, and his desire to help others that are not as fortunate as him is what his major goal is. So just think about that. Helping others who aren't as fortunate or as fortunate as he is to help affect their lives in a positive way. You just don't hear those kind of things in life today. Shannon, a lot of people get to see her on TV and know her for her days at Leary Catholic where she played volleyball and was a cheerleader. She was also an ambassador, was Spirit Centered Officer, was on National Honor Society at Leary Catholic. What you don't know about her is she is one of the most caring people you'll ever meet. I have to read this because otherwise I'll get too emotional about it, but she always puts others first ahead of herself. When asked by the network and the producers of the TV show at the time it was launched what she wanted to accomplish with this platform, the very first thing she wanted to bring was to bring as much awareness of the effects of bullying on other people of all ages, and to be an example to young women everywhere on how to persevere through situations including bullying of all types. I couldn't be more prouder than my two kids with what they've done. To quote someone who has personally witnessed Danny and Shannon in action, is Amy Butler here by chance? In the back again. All you guys go hide in the back. So to quote Amy, who's known Danny and Shannon through Leary Catholic and everything else, and we had a meeting not too long ago, and she shared this with me, and I thought it was one of the most moving things that I've ever heard as a parent. Danny and Shannon have always conducted themselves with integrity and character, and are respected as a shining example for the entire community, and anyone who comes in contact with Danny and Shannon come away feeling the same way. As a parent, and there's a lot of parents in this room, there's not much more you can ask than that. Thank you, Amy, for that inspiration. It was Danny and Shannon who, after we sold our manufacturing business and closed in March, that immediately wanted the four of us to create a foundation to be a vehicle for what you see tonight. The Dan and Mila Reaser Family Foundation, which allows us to, and them, to achieve those and other goals for generations to come, to be able to help see that the needs of fellow Lorain Countyans and others benefit from the hard work and success that Danny and Shannon experienced throughout their lives and beyond. We are extremely proud of Danny and Shannon. On behalf of Mila, on behalf of, is that a bell that went off? That's good. But on behalf of my wife, Mila, and my son, Danny and Shannon, you know, we're very humbled by this opportunity to have my dad's name, and our family's name here in perpetuity for LCC, a place that means a lot to us and has affected our lives in a very positive way. But thank you very much for everybody coming.
What a remarkable evening. Again, thank you so much. We are overwhelmed with your generosity and the spirit upon which you give it, and we look forward to having the Reaser family continue to make Lorain County Community College your home and a family affair. I'm delighted that the family will make yet another significant memory at Lorain County Community College as Danny and his fiancee Bailey, and Bailey, I recognize you, they will be holding their wedding reception here later in December, as you heard referenced in the video. And that's what Lorain County Community College is about. That's our middle name. Our middle name is community. And this space is home to hundreds of business and community events in the course of a year. Spitzer Conference Center hosted 3,000 events and over 115,000 guests last year alone. So the impact and what occurs in this space is so special in terms of our community and our community's growth. In fact, it's among the largest conferencing banquet rooms available in Northeast Ohio, according to Crane's Cleveland Business. Dr. Church, thank you for your continuing commitment to Lorain County Community College. I'm thrilled that tonight, this evening, is your first foray as our President Emeritus, and I can't wait to see the continued impact that you're going to have in your role. And to each of you who took the time out of your busy schedules to share in this wonderful celebration, we thank you. Lorain County truly is a unique place, and I believe that it's a testament to the people who live here, generation after generation, just as you all have talked about this evening. It's families like yours that are an inspiration to all of us, and we are deeply indebted. Thank you, everyone, and please continue to enjoy the refreshments this evening.